Hello. All right, let me get this shared out there. Let's see, we want to share it to here and here. Okay. Hey, Sue, how are ya? Glad you could make it. Mom and Nancy. Oh, good, you made it, Nance. All right. Gonna have some fun stuff here for you tonight. Oh, hey, Ruth. You did make it. Mom said you weren't sure if you were going to be able to make it or not, depending on the Super Bowl noise level. And I will warn everybody, my husband's downstairs watching the Super Bowl. So far, he's been quiet. I haven't heard any shouting at the TV, but it could happen. And Tucker, he's curled up on the love seat. He's just hanging out with us. Well, I'm glad to see that, Nancy. Ah, headphones. Good idea. Okay, well, tonight we are featuring the Geared Up Garage stamp set as our primary set, but I am dragging in a few others for our projects. We're actually using the entire bundle for the Geared Up Garage, but we are also using the Forever Lovely and Meant to Be stamp sets in our projects today. Oh, hey, Sherry. Glad you could make it. So we have 3 projects we're going to do tonight. One is just a simple little note card. I'm going to show you how we did that one. Then we're going to, of course, do this one. They all have a Valentine twist to them. And then this one. We're going to do this one here first. And this one we're using some embossing paste. Oh, you've been cooking for the Super Bowl, Sue? Oh, good for you. Hubby did the cooking today. He grilled for us. He stood outside in this lovely weather. Hi, Carol. Glad you could make it. So anyway, as I was stating, this is using some of the embossing paste. I want to show you how I did that to the car exhaust. So that's kind of a fun one. So that's going to be our first one we do. So I'm going to set these others aside. I'm going to bring in, we have our card base. You're such a nice mom, Sue, doing all that cooking for them boys. All right, and then we have a piece of designer series paper, and this is from the Forever Lovely collection, and that's 2 1/4 by 5 1/2, and we're just going to attach it to our card base like so. Then I have some scraps for die cutting and whatnot. Set that aside here. So that was for, oh, this is so we can do our thing. Here is our template, and I think I have an extra scrap here. Oh, that's for our car to die cut. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just attach our designer paper to our card base. So we'll go ahead and get that done. We're just going to attach it just like so. And we're just going to set that aside for a minute. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp my car, and I'm going to stamp him in Memento ink, because we are going to color with our blends markers. So we want to make sure we're using Memento black ink. Oh, hi, Anne Marie. Glad you could make it. Okay, there we go. So I'm just gonna stamp that onto our cardstock, just like so. Then we want our blends. I'm using the Balmy Blue, cover up our ink. And we're just doing some simple coloring on here. So I'm starting with my light, and I'm just gonna scribble on some color. I'm not being real fussy with this. I'm just getting some color on there. And like I said, I'm starting with my lightest. I'm going to bring in my dark. And I'm just going to, where you see the lines and the hash marks, that's where I'm putting my dark, just for some shading. And then I'll go back with the light and blend it out. And with the blends markers, you do want to work in fairly small areas so that when you're doing your highlighting or shading, the ink is still wet so that the color still will move and blend. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my dies. And where is my car? There it is. We want the car. That fell off. So we're going to go over to the Big Shot and we're going to cut him out just like so. Okay, so there's our car. Set those aside. And then I'm going to bring in my other piece here. And I have a little template that I created using, where did I put that? The Swirly Scribbles dies. We haven't seen these in a little while, but I cut out a piece from a piece of cardstock, okay? So if you were to stick that in there, that's where this came from. I used this half, and now I'm going to use this half because I cut it in half so I would have two templates. So get these out of the way, and I will show you now how I got that little exhaust going there. So I need my template. I also had cut out another car, just a plain car shape, just so I could see where I wanted him to come out. So let's see, I think I want my exhaust going this way. And then I want Okay, we're going to be there. I think the other side of the template worked better, but that will work, I think. Oop, so we go just like so. So I know where I want my car, right about there. So get him out of the way. Then I put some embossing paste. I'm using the shimmery white embossing paste. Comes in a jar. And you can see I've used quite a bit of this stuff. But it's awesome. But anyways, I put it in this little Ziploc baggie. Okay, so I have a big old clob in here. Then I'm going to get my lovely lipstick re-inker. And I'm just going to drop a couple of drops in here. Just like that. Close that up so we don't have any disasters. And then we're going to mix that paste in with that ink. Just keep working it until all of that paste is pink and not white. Okay. Yeah, this car is a fun stamp set, and I'm finding that I can use it for lots of things beyond just what the intended stamp set was for Father's Day. You can use it for birthday, and in this case we're using it for Valentine's. Okay, now I'm just going to work it out of this corner because I'm going to snip this corner because basically we're making this into a piping bag. All right, so I'm just going to take my snips and I'm going to snip off this little corner. Just like so. Get rid of that. And work it back into that little corner. And then pipe it onto there. Let's put that over there so it stays on the... And then I'm just going to bring in my little knife that I use for my embossing paste and spread it. Now with the embossing paste, it does dry quickly. So you want to make sure that you wash your utensils pretty quickly. I just have a soapy water bin over here. And now you just remove your template, and I'm going to throw that right in my garbage here. So that's just going to set and dry. But I do have one already done and dried. So there's my one I did ahead. So now I'm going to bring in my stamp that is Happy Valentine's. I got my Memento Black. And we're just going to go up here in this upper left corner. Correct. You only need the one color of paste. You can make it any color re-inker you want. And You could actually do like a rainbow if you wanted to. You could make a template like that and pipe it, and you could do multiple colors next to each other and then smooth them out. They actually did that at On Stage in November. She did a rainbow with the horse. It was really cool and beautiful. But by using the glitter paste, the white shimmery white paste, this has the glitter in it, and it really shows. I don't know if you can see it here. Let me see if I can move it up. I don't know if you can see that. I got a delay here. Yeah, there you go. You can see the glitter. Isn't that cool? Love it. So anyway, that's that. All right, so now we're just gonna bring in our card base again. And we need our snail. And then and this piece of Whisper White is 3 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. Right? I think. Or is it 4 1/4 by 3 1/4? Oh, I can't remember. Hang on, got a ruler here. We'll check. Ah, no, totally wrong. 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. Then we bring back our car, and we need some dimensionals. And we're just going to stick our car right there in its exhaust. And yes, a very simple card, and it has that sparkle touch to it, and there you have it. We made our own little exhaust, and that exhaust could be any color you wanted it. I just wanted it to be pink, so there you have it. Quick, easy, and as long as you're careful, it won't be too messy, because like I said, this isn't very bad as long as you keep everything contained, but it could get really ugly. Okay, let's do card number 2. This one I also did the envelope, and again we just did more of a girly version of it, and it says, "You jumpstart my heart." So set that over here. Bring in this little set here. So again, we have our lovely lipstick card base, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. And I have a piece of Designer Series paper. This is also from that, I just said it too, Forever Lovely Designer Series paper pack. We have a stitched oval, and then we have our scraps. This is for our car, and this is for our sentiment. And then I have my envelope here. So I'll go ahead and attach What is the reason for the red behind the car? Oh, it's just to be exhaust. It's for fun. There's no real reason, June. It's just pink exhaust. Okay, so there's our card base. Then again, we got our card. We're going to do that in our Memento ink again, because again we're using our Stampin' Blends, only this time we're just going to do him pink using the Flirty Flamingo Stampin' Blends. So we need our blends. So I got the Flirty Flamingo. Again, just like we did with the other one, starting with the lightest color. Darkest, and again, just where those lines are and hash marks. Take the light and blend it out. Okay, and we're gonna die cut him as well. What did I do with the die though? There it is. So we need our car cut out. So we're just gonna line the die up just like so. Put it on the big chop. There's our car. So then we're going to bring in our oval. I also need my piercing mat because I'm using a photopolymer stamp. So I know I want my car right about here. So that means I want my hearts, because I'm using the hearts from the Forever Lovely stamp set again for an exhaust look. So I want my lovely lipstick. And we're gonna go right about there. So I'm going to take some dimensionals. We're going to set that right in the center of our card. Then I want a dimensional on the nose of the car because that's going to hang off, and then I'm just going to use a little snail on the back end. Oop, peel my backing off, and that's going to go right there. Oh, bye, Nance. I'll see you tomorrow. So there's our exhaust coming out of our back end of our car. So now I just have this little scrap here. And I am going to bring in, this is the You Jumpstart My Heart sentiment. And again, using the Memento Black. We're going to use, it's the 1 1/4 inch circle punch. There we go. And we just want a dimensional for the back of that. And we're just going to overlap that with our, so that finishes that card. But to just finish it up a little bit more, I'm going to bring in my envelope and my lovely lipstick ink. And we want those hearts again. And right here on the corner of the envelope, we're gonna, oh, thanks, Aunt. I'm glad you like it. Oh, good, Betty. I'm glad you like it too. So that finishes our envelope. So now we have a well-coordinated card and envelope. Isn't it cute? Who would have thought a car could be with hearts? So there's your heart exhaust. All right, last card. This one's actually using a note card and envelope. The note cards come in a pack of like 20. They're really a great deal. And this one, I want to show you a fun way to use your die with the gears. So what we have here in our pack is I have my card base, which is a pre-cut note card, and it's scored for me. And I'm just gonna press it down with my bone folder though, just to give it a good. Then I have a piece of the, I think this is the Geared Up Garage or something like that. Classic Garage Designer Series paper. The one I did here, I used the paper that had the tires on it. This one I'm using the one with the cars. So I just wanted to show you, you could use whatever, there's several of the black and white Designer Series papers in that collection. So this one has the cars on it. So we're just gonna put that down. Oh, I didn't think about doing shamrock exhaust, but we could see if we can find a shamrock that would work. Or you just color your exhaust green. Instead of having pink embossing powder, do the Emerald Envy or not Emerald, Tranquil Twide or Shaded Spruce, or any of the greens would work for shamrocks. How's that? All right. Then I have a second piece of Designer Series paper from the same collection. This one has the gears on the back side, but we're using the Daffodil Delight side, or actually I think that's Crushed Curry. And this is 1 inch by, I want to say it's 4 3/4. I think that's, yes, 4 3/4. I'm gonna go about there, just like that. And I forgot to put my ribbon on there. See, I made a mistake too. Totally forgot my ribbon. So, let's see. I have an idea. This ribbon is going to actually, this card's going to have a bow or a knot. I'm going to do a knot because this is supposed to be more masculine. So we'll do a knot instead of a bow. There we go. I'll just trim it. And this here is the striped metallic ribbon. And it is with that whole suite of product with the Geared Up Garage. So there we go. So this one actually goes all the way around and it's tied in a knot. This one, I actually just taped the ends underneath the paper. So it didn't go all the way around, but we'll make it work. Okay, so then, set that aside. I want to bring in this stamp here. This is the Happy Father's Day stamp in the Geared Up Garage stamp set, but I don't want my stamp to say Happy Father's Day. I'm not ready for Father's Day yet. I'm still working on Valentine's. So I have this stamp here that says Happy Valentine's Day, but I want that shape. So I'm got a piece of, this is the gray granite cardstock, and I have my basic gray Stampin' Write marker, okay? If you're not familiar with the Stampin' Write markers, these are the same exact ink that fill your ink pads. It's identical. It's the same formula. They have a narrow band and a wide band. The narrow band, this is where you would use the marker if you wanted to actually write anything. That's your writing nib. The wide end, this is your brush tip for coloring. Okay, so we are going to use that. And I am just going to color with my marker the outline that I want to die cut out for my sentiment. Close up my marker, and I'm just gonna huff and stamp. So now I just have that outline. Then I can bring in my basic gray ink and my Happy Valentine's Day sentiment. I'm going to try to do this without sticking my head into everything. There we go. I think I did it. There. So now there's a coordinating die that'll cut that right out. So we're going to do that over here on the Big Shot. So there we have our sentiment. But next thing we got to do, where is my gear? Here it is. This here, we're going to cut that out of a piece of shaded spruce cardstock. However, this die, it embosses a little in addition to cuts. However, I want a little extra detail. If you'll see, I have, it looks like I stamped this before I actually cut it, but that's not what I did. I ran the die through the Big Shot after I inked. I'm actually going to ink up the die. Oh, hey, Robin. Glad you made it. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to actually lay that right on there. And I got a scrap piece of paper to help run that through there like so. And then get that one inked up. Okay, so now just gonna lay that on my paper, just like that, and I'm gonna go ahead and run that through the Big Shot. Throw that up there. And I do have my paper lined with some adhesive sheet. I just rolled that through a couple times just to make sure everything cuts well. You know what? I might want to run that through one more time because I don't know if it went all the way through or not. That's good. I think it cut through. All right, now we just need, and I'm getting inky from this. This is not what you would call mess-free. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in my soapy water. All right, now let's see if we can't poke out the rest of these little pieces. Yeah, see? But as you can see, I have the detail from that die are a lot of little pieces here. I'm hoping when I pull the backing, a lot of these little doodads will come with it. Okay, let's see. Almost all. Okay, I think we got all of them now. Okay, bring back our card, and I just kind of lay that on there. Yeah, that adhesive, those adhesive sheets are the bomb for... Oh, hey, Carlene. Okay, so now that's down. So now we just need to bring in a dimensional or two for our sentiment. And that actually finishes, oops, probably should have been a little straighter. There we go. There we go. So there's one with the tied knot. There's one with no knot. But pretty neat how you get that detail from the die, isn't it? I like it. So here's our 3 cards. Oh, hi, Sandy. Yeah, those gears are pretty cool. That's part of the Garage, what's it called? Garage Gears Thinlit dies. So, there's all these other little gears in the set as well. And it coordinates, where's all the other ones? Wet. With the Geared Up Garage stamp set. So this is the one we used. Like I said, and I just mixed in the Forever Lovely and the Meant to Be stamp sets for sentiments and the little heart exhaust and the Happy Valentine's Day. So I hope you enjoyed seeing how to use your embossing paste and coloring it, using color on your dies, and just changing up and using other stamp sets for things such as exhaust or whatnot. Like I said, that can be any color that you want it to be under the rainbow. This is this month's host code. If anybody needs that at any time. That's also part of the page banner. If ever you need the host code, if you're ever looking for it later on, if you just go right to the Katrina's Creative Heart page here on Facebook, I always have the month's host code as part of the banner, I guess you'd call it. Okay. Oh, you're going to enjoy it. I hope, Robin. I did some fun stuff, I think. Oh, you too, Sherry. Have a good evening. Okay. Well, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to let me know. I will do my best to answer them. Otherwise, I hope you guys all have an awesome evening. Enjoy the Super Bowl if that's your jam, and hope you have a great night. And I will see you back here next week. Bye.